yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy Y. Bailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, Wendy Y. Bailey.
Hi, everyone, and welcome again to this episode of Profitable Coaching Conversations. I'm really tickled to introduce you to our guest for this episode, Sheri Berke. She is a money strategist and reinvention expert. I'm excited about hearing what she's got to say about that because I have some thoughts about reinvention. But let's jump in. Hello, Sheri, and welcome.
Hi, Wendy Y. I am so delighted to be here. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a while.
Yeah, so have I. I always love the conversation of reinvention. But let's kind of start with what you do and who you serve. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I support professional women primarily who are going through some kind of life change. It could be one that they were planning, such as maybe they're leaving a position or they've got a new one. Maybe they are planning a retirement, or it could be an unexpected one where they've lost a spouse, either through divorce or even death, and things of that nature where we get stuck sometimes and we're just bowled over by what life has given us. And we need a little support to work our way through it and craft a new life that we want to have after that change.
Yeah, change is hard for a lot of people. And I think depending on the magnitude of the change, and it sounds like the professional women you serve have some really big changes that they're having to navigate.
Oh, that's true. And I think anyone who has lived a big life has change come up. And sometimes we get to plan for it, and other times it just lays us out.
Yeah, for sure. And those times when it lays you out, and I've been there before because, you know, I tell people resilience is my middle name. But what I understand is that when you're in that space, change has to be something that you don't fight, that you move with the change and you learn how to adapt to the change. I kind of liken it to being in a rowboat and on a stormy sea at that time. You've got to, you know, position yourself in the boat in a particular way to be able to weather the choppy sea.
Oh, that's such a great analogy. One of the key things that I really focus on during those times is rigorous self-care. That's
yes. Yes. I totally agree with that because go ahead with what you were going to say. I was just saying, let me amen that real quick. That's exactly what you have to do.
Those are the times that we have to be extraordinarily gentle with ourselves, self-compassionate, and even self-forgiving.
My more about self-forgiving, because that just intrigues me.
Well, there have been times with either my clients or even myself where the situation, for instance, there had been a time I had lost my job during an economic downturn, and this may sound kind of familiar.
Yeah.
And I wound up losing my home. I was $140,000 in credit card debt. And at the same time, my fiancé walked out.
Wow.
So my whole world imploded. And I found myself, if only I should have known better. I was a trained finance person, and I should have been watching. I shoulda.
Yeah, you were battling yourself and coming down harder on yourself, which is not what you needed during that time.
Absolutely not. And
it's a natural thing to be that way. What do you say to the person who's watching and listening, and they're saying, well, how do you avoid that? What do you do to self-forgive?
Well, it really starts with realizing that you're doing it. And awareness. And I'll tell my clients, put the bat down. You wouldn't treat your worst enemy the way that you're treating yourself right now. Mm-hmm. And many times, until someone kind of puts that stick in the bicycle wheel, we don't get what we're doing and how that stuff is just running on in our mind.
Yeah.
And so the first step is taking that pause. And then many times it's connecting with your spiritual power, mm-hmm. getting quiet, meditating, doing a little prayer, and listening to, how we really are children of God. Mm-hmm. And mm-hmm. we weren't made to be treated poorly.
Yeah. And that includes from yourself.
Absolutely. Sometimes, especially from ourselves.
Yeah. I think that we're all very naturally our own worst critic. And so when we're in that space where it feels like failure is upon us, it's mm-hmm. hard not to look beyond ourselves and see the impact that lack of forgiveness is having on us. The thing that I've learned over time, forgiveness actually equates with fear.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Forgiveness is equal to fear. And I'm not saying it right. If you don't forgive yourself, then you're in a state of fear because you're into the what if or woulda, shoulda, coulda. And you're stirring the pot of fear, which doesn't help you to actually take action and move from that space to make changes that are going to help you,
Absolutely. One of the things that I talk a lot about are the two wolves. I'm sure you've heard that Cherokee legend about the two wolves that we have inside ourselves.
I don't know that I recognize it. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, there are actually, it's a legend where a chieftain was talking to his grandson and saying, we have two wolves inside of us. One of them who is compassionate and kind and supports us in achieving all we want. And then the other one who's that dark, evil, nasty talking one. Mm-hmm. And the grandson said, well, which one wins? And the story goes, it's the one you feed. So if you're feeding the one that's compassionate and you can do it and
encouraging and empowering.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're feeding that dark side, then that's the one that's the loudest. Mm. But there's a second legend that says you really need to feed both of them. Mm-hmm. So you understand their personalities.
Yeah.
Because we always have situations that our initial response may be fearful or, oh, my whole world's going to collapse. I'll never get out of this. Absolutely. And we can go down that dark rabbit hole in an instant. Mm-hmm. And when we realize that's a natural part of thinking, and there's another side to it, we can support ourselves in moving through some of that paralyzing fear.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. The thought that came to mind for me, I'm a Trekkie. So there's this
Oh,
one
yeah.
episode of Star Trek, the original series, where William Shatner, who's the captain of the Enterprise, is separated in the transporter beam. He's separated. And because he's separated, there's this part of him that is meek and mild-mannered and compassionate and kind. And then the ruthless part of him is a whole nother person as well. So they end up fighting each other. And the thing that I thought was interesting, even though this was made, in the late 60s?
Something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that when it was all said and done, they had to be together for him to be the captain that he needed to be for the ship. And that's kind of what you described. You've got to feed both of the wolves. You've got to really, support both of them because they're equally important and they kind of work together in concert to make you the person that you're designed to be.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I know that you've had your own reinvention around all of this that we've been talking about. Tell us what you see as the path. Where did you start when you were $140,000 in debt and you lost your home, your fiancé left, and the marketplace was, dismal, abysmal? It wasn't what you needed it to be. When did you begin to reinvent yourself?
Well, it really starts where you are at the moment. At wherever you are is where your path starts. And it starts with looking around to assess what's the good stuff and what's the not so good stuff. And the good stuff is your assets, your personal, skills, your friendships, the relationships and networks you've built. Maybe it's where you're living, whatever it is that's what you can use to move forward. And the liabilities, the not so good stuff, are the things that you have to look at finding a way to deal with. And you don't have to do it all at once. In fact,
it's a process.
It's a process. It's one step at a time. And then once you've got a really pretty good look at all of that, then you start to think about, dream about, where is it you want to be? Where do you want to go? And a lot of times that's where many people get stuck. They are so embedded in how dire the situation is at the moment. They have no ability to really have that vision of the future. And it keeps them stuck.
Yeah, it's a hard place to get out of if you don't have some tools and some support to help you with that. And I love that you come in when it comes to that. What made you decide to be a reinvention specialist or reinvention strategist?
Well, I think it started when I left my corporate job. And I had left the corporate world on my terms, and I really had created a life. I had that vision, created the path to get there, that I didn't want to have to do anything if I didn't want to. And I had that. But, I got bored. And I was so accustomed to working with people and supporting other people in moving forward that I started to look at what could I do. It was starting where I was. What were the tools that I had? And I was reinventing myself. And I thought, there are so many people out there who are unable to see a process to move from one spot to another spot. So I started to do that, and then things began to fall into place for me.
The thing that I love about a story like yours, and I have my own story, but a story like yours is that what you understand is when you begin to move past the whatever was chaotic and catastrophic in your life, and you begin to have the vision and you start walking toward that vision and that purpose, I've heard it said a couple of different ways as I've been interviewing guests, but the one that I love is that the universe conspires to support you based on your movement, based on that forward motion that you're in. I love that. Like, I totally love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you aren't in action and in motion, there's little space for the universe to put things in your path for you to find.
Yeah. Say that again.
When you're in motion, there are few opportunities for the universe to put opportunities in your path.
Yeah. When you're not in motion.
When you are not in motion, there's just what's around you. But when you're moving forward, when you're even taking one little step, the chances of having a conversation or a serendipity event are vastly improved because you are in the flow of the energy.
Yeah.
You are moving things forward.
I love that. I love that. So, Sheri, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into our profitable wisdom segment. Sound good?
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, awesome.
Wendy Y here, and I want to extend my personal invitation to you to join the Profitable Coaching Society. It's a growing community of coaches, speakers, industry experts, and marketplace influencers just like you. Join the after party to connect with guests so you can continue the dialogue. They're waiting in the society to greet you. When you join, you're going to receive my special gift, the ultimate guide to profitable coaching conversations. Go to www.profitablecoachingsociety.com, and I'll see you there.
With over 20 years' experience supporting clients in becoming organized, Laurie Ann Stepp, the clutterologist, understands the direct connection of physical clutter in the home with emotional confusion in the heart. Laurie Ann has a natural gift and finely honed skills for helping others rediscover the balance and harmony in their lives using basic feng shui principles. Her non-judgmental and compassionate conversations with her clients help them shape a new reality as she works to organize their home or office. This unique approach, combined with her ability to connect meaningfully with her clients, has earned her rave reviews from many well-respected publications. Whether you need to tackle one stressful pile of paper clutter or reorganize your entire home one room at a time, Laurie Ann has simple and affordable solutions for you to stay organized. Learn more about Laurie Ann and her inspiring work by visiting www.clutterologist.com today.
Hi, I'm Penelope Jane Smith, and you are tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversations show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hello, I'm Rhonda Height, and you are tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so that you are notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Madsen, and you're tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe so that you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Okay, welcome back. We've been talking with Sheri Berke. She is a money strategist and reinvention expert. And we've been talking a lot about resilience and reinvention and the path that she's on and the people that she serves. These questions are going to give us a little bit more insight into who Sheri is and how you can really learn from her experience. So the first question I always ask is, who's had the greatest influence on you in your life, Sheri?
Oh, there have been a lot of people.
Yeah.
And when I stop and really think about it, I have to say it was my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationship I had with my mother, especially later in her life, was fairly tumultuous. But when I stop and get quiet, she was always a cheerleader for me. She
nice.
always, yeah, it really was, because she would say, live up to your potential. Don't let your gender or the situation limit you. It was be a doctor, not a nurse. Be an attorney, not a court reporter. It was always, you have the potential, go use it. So
wow, I love that. And when you think about the tumultuous times and how she impacted you, do you find yourself realizing and seeing that now versus when she was alive?
Oh, absolutely. There were quite a few years later in her life and after she had passed that I really felt a distance and a separation from her. And as we had talked about self-forgiveness earlier, I was able to look deeply within myself and forgive myself for some of that later relationship, and to also forgive her for being a human being doing the best that she could at the time.
Yeah, there's a level of acceptance, especially when they're your parents, I think, and you get to understand as you grow older why they did and said some of the things that happened in your past. I get it. I totally understand that. Yeah. So what's the best business advice you've ever received?
Oh, the best business advice, I think, was to continue to strive to the next step. Be kind with the people around you, and to continue to look forward.
Wow, that's like a 3-step strategy, you know, but it's so good. You know what I mean? It's simple, but it's so good. I remember taking my mom, this has been a few years ago, and I took her to the farm where they had fresh corn, and, you know, you could buy it by the bushel. And on the way back from there, we passed through the little neighborhood where she grew up. And when I say neighborhood, I'm talking country road, unpaved, you know, houses and trailers and lots of grass and land in between each of the properties. And we stopped to visit this friend of my grandmother, so my mother's mother's friend. And my mom took her some corn, some fresh corn, and she had lived at that point to be 103. And so I asked her, like, what made the difference for her? And she said something very similar to what you said. She said, you know, you always treat people right. And you know, so many words, it was like, stay in touch with people and you treat people right. And that's really akin to what you said. When you take care of relationships, relationships take care of you, you know.
Absolutely.
It makes a difference.
And I found I was, most of my career, especially in the corporate world, in a professional position, many times in a senior level position. And the people who I treasured the most were the administrative staff. And I watched so many other people treat those people very poorly. And yet they became the people who supported me in getting things done. They watched my back, they covered for me, and they were always cheering for me. So they were such a part of my support that I wanted to make certain to treasure and take care of them.
Yeah, it's not always about the people who are with you. It's about how you treat the people who are supporting you that makes the difference. Yeah, I love that. And so what's the largest single sale you've ever made in your business?
I think it was a contract that I had for about $50,000, and it was deliverable over about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And what it actually led to, excuse me, was probably a follow-on position with the company I had the contract with, which provided me a couple of $1 million in income.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that because you're describing a stepping stone.
Mm-hmm.
Like $50,000 may sound like a lot, or it may sound like a little, but it led to something much bigger and a much greater opportunity for you. I think that's awesome. Did you do something to celebrate?
Well, I was thinking about that, and I don't recall a specific celebration. And celebration has become one of the keys that I coach my clients in consistently, that any major ground that you've taken needs a celebration. And I think at that time, I didn't celebrate the way I would today.
Well, I was going to say there's no time like the present. What I'm going to challenge you to do and give you permission to do is to find a way to celebrate that even years later because of how it's opened up your world. So you've got my permission to do that now.
Oh, Wendy, why? I love that. I absolutely love that. And I will take you up on that.
Awesome. Awesome. So what has helped you when you've fallen into a place in your business? Because I know that the place that you described earlier in our conversation was when you were working full time, right? And you were laid off and for $140,000 in debt, losing your home and losing your fiancé. In your business, what has helped you when you felt like giving up? Because it's a different space that you were in than we talked about before.
Right. I have to say there are probably two things. One is the group of people I surrounded myself with. And the people who allowed me to talk about what was going on when I thought, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't. And
support system.
A support system. Yes, a very positive support system. And the people I can be honest with and talk about, I've got, I'm having an anxiety attack and I can't do this.
Right.
And then they talk me off the ceiling.
Yes.
And the second piece is really that relationship that I have with my spiritual guide, my God, that I spend time getting quiet and prayer, meditation, and contemplation, and really allow myself to listen to what, my higher power has in mind for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm amazed at people who don't have some divine power, divine being, God, spiritual guide, whatever it is, that they look to for support, because I can't imagine living every day without that. Like you've got to believe in something bigger. And if you don't believe in something bigger, what do you have? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, absolutely. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. Yeah, I think that for me personally, I just can't imagine not having something bigger than me. Like totally. Totally. I can't imagine.
I can't either. And I know that I have been led on a path for most all of my life. And I have come to understand that what I do is being of service, that I am being directed, and, that's when the universe shows up with one more opportunity. But I'm also doing the service work that I was put here to do.
To support other people. So what would you say is your greatest personal accomplishment outside of your business?
I think I have to say it really is getting sober. I had some 36 years ago a problem with alcohol and drugs, and it was beginning to remove from me. And this was long before I lost that job and everything else. So I had to do that whole thing sober. But it was, I was starting, I could see the signs that I was going to begin to lose all of the things that I'd worked so hard to get. So I took account of what was going on around me and made a decision that things had to change. So I, sought help.
Yeah, you got
sober, and I've stayed sober.
How many years now?
36 and a half.
Yeah, I was going to say people who who get sober can tell you almost to the minute when they got sober.
Absolutely.
Because it's that much of an impact in your life. Well, congratulations on 36 and a half years of sobriety.
Thank you.
Yeah. And people don't understand. I'm not someone who has been in that space, but I have a similar kind of story because of, mental illness, that every day you're still battling that same battle from 36 and a half years ago. Every day you're still dealing with that. And every day you have to get up and do it all over again. It's not you didn't look at it as 36 and a half years of a stretch. You're like really, really clear that today is what matters now. And then the next day, today is what matters now.
Absolutely. It is literally one day at a time. And, I have tools today, including that relationship with my spiritual guide, that I didn't have then. And so it has been a lot of change in my approaches to problems and situations and the people I've surrounded myself with.
Yeah, I was going to say the relationships for sure, because they're people that you want in your corner today that maybe, 37 years ago, you were like, no. You know what I mean? So you just get wiser and you get to discern a lot more clearly what's good for you and what's not, and the places and spaces that work for you. I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
And much like the mental health battle, it is literally that one day at a time, and learning how to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, and the tools. You need your tools, so the tools that make the difference as well. And I heard you say meditation earlier. You said contemplative time with your spiritual guide. Yeah, it's very similar. It's a similar path, if you will.
Right.
And you walk for sobriety and mental health. Yeah.
And another important one, and this is also one that I work with my clients on, is a gratitude practice. And finding, no matter what's going on, at least 3 blessings in your life every single day. And most days I can come up with much more than that. And And when we're looking for the good stuff, I don't know about your spiritual guide, but mine always throws in a few more because I'm saying thank you.
Yeah, it's almost like opening your mind and your heart up to what's really important. So when you start expressing gratitude, you realize it can be as simple as, I woke up today. You know what I mean?
I got a good night's sleep.
Yes, exactly. All of that good stuff. All of that good stuff. So we're going to take a break, Sheri, and when we come back, I'd love for you to share your parting thought with the listeners and tell them a little bit about the gifts you have.
Okay. I'll be happy to.
Have you heard about the new Black Business Directory? Welcome to Click Urban. Here, you can find hundreds of businesses owned by us. Whatever business professional you're looking for, they're right here. And the best part is, Membership is absolutely free. Just go to www.theclickurban.com, sign up for a free account, create your free listing, and boom, you're done. Begin surfing the largest Black business directory online and be seen by hundreds of customers and clients all in one place. Get exposure on all of the major search engines, including Google. Our innovative platform includes search engine optimization that will make your listing easy to find. This is the hottest new business directory created for us, by us. Join today. Go to www.theclickurban.com.
One of the benefits of being in my business for more than 18 years is as I've grown to serve my ideal clients more fully, I've also amassed a lot of really amazing content to support them. I decided a couple of years ago that I would create more Coaching Client Sales and Marketing Academy. And it's designed to help in 3 key areas of focus and discovery: mindset, marketing, and sales. Mindset is everything. That is my personal mantra. And as my personal mantra, what I try to do is elevate the mind of my clients so that you can get bigger, bolder, better, everything in your business. It means greater clients. It means you're able to step into sales in a big way. It also means that you can market and promote yourself because you understand the value you're bringing to the marketplace. Marketing is part of that promotion that you do. It's making sure that you are on the right platforms, and being on the right platforms, you can successfully attract your most ideal clients and serve them fully. Sales means that you actually learn what it means to step into that sales conversation and walk your clients down the path of enrolling in working with you. I love More Coaching Client Sales and Marketing Academy, not just because of these 3 key areas, but there's a lot of nuts and bolts there as well. I give live training once a month. They're monthly one-on-one office hours. That means I get to coach you as a member of the Academy. There are video replays, there are discussion forum, there's a program concierge who's managing the content and making sure if you have any questions, you get them addressed. If you have any problems or hiccups, there's someone there to support you. There's a ton of recommended tools and resources as well. And because this is just one of the many offerings I have, I also offer you savings opportunities to connect with me in other ways. Don't just take what I say. Join the Academy so that you can create high-value, high-dollar programs. You can sell high-dollar services and programs with grace and ease. Build relationships with more of your most ideal clients. Create lead magnets that attract more of your most ideal clients. Develop your unique and authentic selling strategy. Gain more visibility for your program, services, and products. Become a marketplace influencer on the right platforms. Accelerate your income quickly and strategically. And create consistent monthly income of $10,000 or more. It's designed to accelerate your income. Don't take my word for it. What Academy members say, like Sheri Berke, therapeutic arts master of the Feathers Touch, she says, once upon a time, I struggled in my business when it came to increasing my rates. I felt uncomfortable charging the true value for my therapeutic art services. After working with Wendy Y, I instantly doubled my income. She showed me how to reframe my approach to charging what I deserve, no more shortchanging myself. Not just Sharita, there's also Rebecca. Rebecca said, I would be happy to speak to anyone considering Wendy Y's services. My investment in working with her saw a financial return of 200%, along with additional coaching and speaking opportunities. All I can say is thank you, Wendy Y. Thank you, Rebecca. And then there is Wilma. Wilma says, working with Wendy Y is a great fit for me. I feel that I'm in partnership with a coach who is helping me achieve my business goals. Wendy Y's suggestions are on the money and I'm learning so much. I now have a new way to acquire customers who are willing to work with me and are excited about positive change. Wendy Y, you are the one for me. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Wilma. And then finally, there is Kenneth. Kenneth says, Wendy Y is such a professional coach and transformational expert. She always knows exactly what to say or do to make sure that I stay on track with my business. She knows if I need a marketing strategy, a better technique, or a mindset shift. All of it weighs in, and I appreciate having you as a member, Kenneth. So let me just say to you, I'm looking for an elite group of members for the Academy at this point. And because it's such an elite group, I've got an elite number for you. For the first 100 members, and I'm ticking them off, there are less than 100 spots available now, you can become a member at More Coaching Client Sales and Marketing Academy for $88.88 per month. That's all it is. You get all of what I've described for $88.88. 8 is a number for abundance, and I'm so excited to extend this special opportunity for the first 100 elite members of More Coaching Client Sales and Marketing Academy to you. Go to morecoachingclients.com and enroll today. Okay, we've been here talking with reinvention expert and money strategist, Sheri Berke. And, you know, Sheri, I always like to ask this question. If there's one thing that you'd like for viewers and listeners to gain from our conversation, just one nugget that really is the thing that you want them to stand on from our conversation, what is that?
That every journey starts with the first step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. That's almost like a paraphrase of Martin Luther King's staircase quote, right? Every step on the staircase, and I'm paraphrasing now, starts with the first step.
Yep.
Yeah. You got to start somewhere. You're not moving to the top of the staircase, or you're not going to, move forward if you don't take that first step.
No, and the longest journey is one step at a time. And if you don't take that first step, you won't ever get there.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something about the mindset of that, And when I say mindset, you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to have the right way of thinking in order to take the step, not knowing where the staircase will lead you or not knowing where the journey will take you. You don't have to know the destination. The journey is what's more powerful too. Really good stuff, Sheri. Really good stuff. I know you have a gift for everyone. Can you tell us a little bit about it, and we'll put the link to it in the show notes?
Okay, it's a reinvention playbook, a guide, a short guide to the process of reinvention.
Yeah. We've touched on it a little bit in our conversation today, but I know you're going to get into a little bit more detail, and that's something that people want to take advantage of. Sheri, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy Y. Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from Wendy Y. and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.